Greetings, fam. Welcome and welcome back. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for stopping by. Don't forget to tap that subscribe button before you tap out this video. Join our family. We would love to have you. If you're already a part of our soul family, thank you so much for returning again and again and again. You are loved and appreciated. Family, I have a very important message to deliver to you today from the ancestors. Please keep in mind that this is a collective message, which means that everything may not fit for everybody. Okay? Take what fits and leave the rest. Don't ever force anything to fit. If this message does resonate with you, don't forget to tap that like button, drop a comment, let us know what you thought about this reading. If it does not resonate with you, you have the option to book a personal reading with me down below at that link in the description box, or you can browse through some of my other videos to see if you can find another message that may fit you better. Thank you guys so much for the love and support and your donations. If you would like to leave a donation, that link is also located down below in the description box. Also, make sure you check out our merch, and you can also book a consultation with me if you're interested in joining the Elevation Life Coaching program. Okay, so I've already cleansed the energies, and all negative energies and monitoring spirits have been sent back to where they came from. So without further ado, family, let's get into it. My beautiful people, we are starting this reading off with the Queen of Cups in reverse, the Eight of Staffs upright, the World upright, and the Knight of Staffs in reverse. Okay, so let's look more into this. I'm going to clarify all these cards. With the Queen of Cups here in reverse, I feel like in the past, like this is really just giving me past vibe. Many of you were blocked. There was a blockage of creativity, emotional stability. Like a lot of you held back your emotions. You held back the things that you were thinking and feeling. And there was also a lack of self-care. You weren't putting enough self-care and attention into yourself. It feels like maybe you were catering to other people. It was so bad that it could have been codependency. For some of you, it was close to codependency, and for some of you, it was very much so codependency. Okay, and a lot of you were needy. And I feel like for some of you, it was the opposite. Maybe you weren't needy when it comes to your emotions. It was more so you were numb when it came to your emotions. And it was a few things, I want to say, relationships that left you numb. You couldn't feel anything at all. All right. For some of you, there was also this sense of guilt. There was something that you felt guilty about, and you were just fragile. A lot of you may have had like fragile egos, fragile, self-esteem. You were insecure. You were giving too much to everyone else, but not giving enough to yourself. Okay. For some of you, there was a level of like bitterness. You were very bitter. You were emotionally unstable. It was a lot. It had a lot going on. Your creativity was blocked. Your spiritual abilities and intuition was blocked as well. You were overly sensitive. I feel like you were just drained. Your soul, your energy, everything about you was just drained. Okay, and this was in the past. But we got the Eight of Staffs here upright. So a lot of you have overcome this. A lot of you have picked up movement very quickly. Like the Eight of Wands or Eight of Staffs is accelerated movements. Like you picked up speed, rapid movement forward. Okay. And so all of the challenges and obstacles that you were facing were removed. Why? Because you started working on yourself. Some of you I feel like in the past, you had an issue with relationships. Like maybe it was hard for you to get a date or maybe, it just seemed, I feel like some of you maybe just felt unseen. Like you just felt like no one could see you, right? And then now for some of you, like you got so many options. Like some of you are jumping in and out of connections. Like you're jumping in a connection and you're like, nope, you're not good enough. Then you're jumping out of that one. Then you're jumping in another connection. And you're like, not quite it, because you know your worth now. You know your worth. Some of you began to travel, and as you were traveling, you started to meet different people of different backgrounds. Some of you started businesses. You started picking up projects that maybe you thought about picking up before, but you didn't act on it. And so you began to act on it. You started to set your goals, and you started to move in a more positive direction. Some of you may travel. You may travel for business or travel for work. And so for a lot of you, things began to fall into place, and you started speaking up. Like it became easier for you to speak up and tell people how you feel. And you noticed once you started to speak up, everything turned around for you. People who may have tried to play you before, they had this new level of respect for you. You started to, I want to say, cross paths with different people. Like I want to say like your soul tribe, like people that were relatable. Some of you also started to gain access to better opportunities, all because you were working on yourself and your confidence. And this gave you the courage to speak up and to express yourself, right? Because, they say a closed mouth doesn't get fed. And so you began to use your throat chakra. Some of you were meditating on your throat chakra, and it took time for you to get there as well. For some of you may be like party planners, or like you may own an event space, bartenders. And for some of you, there was just like a lot of celebrating. Like you started to party with new friends that you met. Maybe you were going to like business seminars and networking. Some of you were also studying the law of attraction as well. And so this is what helped you change the whole trajectory of your life. You started to realize that your thoughts and your words were powerful. I feel like a lot of you may have grown up in homes where you were undervalued, you were left out, ostracized. Maybe you were abused physically, mentally, emotionally, verbally by your parents or your caretakers. Some of you may have been in and out of foster homes. You were adopted, and if that's not the case, some of you were teased in school, you were mistreated, right? And so that affected you your whole entire life. I feel like it's not until just recently you realize that these people were projecting onto you. So let's say, for example, someone called you ugly, right? Like you realized I'm actually very attractive, and what they were saying to me was a reflection of them, not me. And so you started to move like it. A lot of you are now like you're walking in your power. You're very confident. And I'm seeing you like toast, like doing like a toast, or, cheers to who you've become. You are in a place of freedom because you're no longer allowing the opinions of other people to determine how you see yourself. All right. And I'm really getting a sense of travel. Like, remember, these readings are timeless. So whenever you hear it is the time that you're supposed to hear it. Doesn't matter if you hear it 5, 10, 20 years, months, days from now, minutes from now, whatever. Whenever you hear it is the time that you're supposed to hear it, because time is an illusion, okay? And so a lot of you are working corporate now. Like a lot of you may be of a higher position in the corporate world, like a fast-paced, high-energy workplace. Some of you were suffering from health issues, and you recovered from them really quickly once you started to change your way of thinking and your lifestyle. Like, I feel like for some of you, stress was really bringing you down. And for others of you, you started to gain the courage that it takes to heal yourself. Like, you started to look into herbs and tinctures and meditations and clearing your chakras, because a lot of times blocked chakras could lead to health issues, blocked arteries and clogged arteries and all of that stuff, high blood pressure, diabetes. So you guys started working on yourselves from the inside out. And this really, really, really increased your ability to heal yourself. A lot of you also began doing positive affirmations. Like, you started to say positive affirmations every single day. And that helped you to progress spiritually. Some of you may work in marketing. Some of you may be used to watch the news and you stopped watching the news and you became happier from that, because the news is really depressing. Like, I just tell people, don't even watch the news unless you want to be indoctrinated. Like, it doesn't even make sense because it doesn't even tell you the things that you really need to know. So I feel like for some of you, you were depressed watching the news, and then when you stopped watching the news, you stopped following certain social media accounts, you noticed a change in your mood. Some of you may work in aviation, or you may know someone that works in aviation or tourism. Some of you may also be like receptionists, secretaries, administrative assistants as well. And you're doing really well where you're at. You're happy in your field. Some of you used to work in those fields and you left to start your own business, and you're doing really well in your own business, or you're thinking about leaving to start your own business. Okay, some of you, I feel like, okay, and this is gonna fit differently, so don't force it, okay? For some of you, I feel like, how can I say this? How can I word this? Okay, so you were like dating and in and out of relationships, right? And you finally found the one. Like, you're with somebody that you could see yourself with for the long term. Okay? And others of you, like, you're content dating around. Like, you're content having options. You're happy with that. I'm hearing some of you might be polygamous or polyamorous. And I feel like if you guys aren't here yet with this Eight of Staffs energy, that's where you're going. Like, the way that they're telling me to word this is different. I don't know if you guys can, like, it's just different. I don't usually read like this, but it's interesting. It's almost as if we're speaking this into existence. You know, because for some of you, yes, you're already here, right? But for those of you who aren't necessarily at this place yet, you're still working out of that Queen of Cups in reverse energy and learning how to speak up, learning how to attract abundance and opportunities to you. You may be working on your affirmations. You may be working on manifesting. I don't know. I'm just reading how I feel called to read. But yeah, you have a lot of success coming to you, a lot of love and abundance coming your way. We got the World card here upright. We got the number 2 here. Some of you may be life path 2s, life path 1s. Some of you may have been born in February. Some of you may have been born in 2001, 2002. Some of you may be life path 3s, born in March. Some of you may be seeing these numbers. You may be seeing the sequence of like 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1. Some of you may have had something life-changing happen to you in 2012 or 2021 or both. Okay, some of you may even have these numbers on your license plate. That was so random. But yeah, I feel like you might have these numbers on your license plate. Okay, well, with the World card here upright, a lot of you are traveling, and this came out twice in this reading with the Eight of Staves and the World card. A lot of you are traveling or moving, and if you're not physically traveling and moving, you are traveling as far as like you're growing. You know, you're elevating. With the World card here, there is a cycle that has come to an end. Like you have reached the completion of a cycle, and that's why things have began moving for you or will begin to move for you. But overseas travel is really significant here. Some of you guys are beginning another journey. So building a family, moving overseas, or traveling overseas to go start some type of project or community work. The World card is represented by the planet of Saturn, which is an indication of discipline. And I feel like a lot of you have really put the work in to build structure and order for yourself in order to change your life. And that has brought a sense of fulfillment to you, your wish fulfillment. Yeah, some of you may have been recently married or you're getting married. Congratulations. Some of you may be traveling overseas to get married. I'm hearing like if you're traveling overseas to get married, make sure that it's no one that's trying to use you for your citizenship papers. That was really specific too. Some of you are having children soon too, or you recently had children, or you have children that are grown adults and you're traveling overseas to see them. Maybe they're going to school overseas. And for some of you, you're beginning a new career, or you're traveling overseas to begin a new career. Many of you are feeling whole, like you're finally at the place where you're feeling this sense of wholeness. You're happy with who you are and where you are. You're content. And some of you are like working out, like you started working out more, exercising, like, and I can tell by like the way that I just damn near lost my breath trying to speak. I was like out of breath. Some of you are working out, like you're running, you may be going jogging, or you're running on like a treadmill. Some of you may feel like you're tired of running on a treadmill. Like you may feel like you're on a hamster wheel, like you're tired of being in corporate. You're tired of being in the matrix. That is specific as well. But for most of you, there's a sense of freedom. Like you're finally free. You're no longer a prisoner to the matrix, or you're no longer a prisoner to your thoughts and other people's opinions. Like it's like you're living your life unapologetically. A lot of you are looking at the past and you're reflecting on how far you've come. You know, you're proud of yourself. You're realizing that the world is at your fingertips. You're realizing that the world is in the palm of your hand. I'm hearing, if I rule the world. And like you're feeling like you do rule the world. You rule your world. Like you're realizing that you are the co-creator of your own reality. And with that level of confidence alone, you're attracting abundance into your life. Okay, and I feel like the completion of that cycle, that the cycle was this sense of, I'm hearing like victim, like a victim mentality, you know? Like you realize that you're not a victim. And so you started to make things work for yourself. Interesting. A lot of you may be trying new cultural, I don't know, like you may be tapping into different cultures. Like you may be trying new foods. You know, you may be reading about certain cultures that maybe you found out you were connected to. Some of you are studying global law as well. Yeah, a lot of you guys are like, you're plotting, like you're planning to take over the world. and not on like pinky in the brain, like trying to do something evil. Like you're learning about other cultures and you're studying global law because you really want to make a change. You're studying global history as well. A lot of you may be connecting with foreigners from overseas. Like you may be connecting with these people online and then you're traveling to them or they're traveling to you. That's interesting. All right, moving forward, we got the Knight of Staffs in reverse. And I feel like this is the energy that you walked away from. Like some of you may have, and this could be a partner. This could be who you used to be, right? A part of you that may have died, right? Insecure, or some of you were the opposite. You were overly confident, and so you were kind of like led by your ego. So once you learned how to put your ego on a leash, you realized that you started to thrive and you started to build deeper and stronger connections. I feel like your ego had you acting out of character for some of you. And a lot of you had all of this intelligence and, you had this bright aura, but you were using it for the wrong reasons. And so you were frustrated when things didn't go your way. You were lacking focus. There was a lot of anger and resentment. You had scattered energy. Some of you were arrogant. You were like domineering, dominating, controlling, violent. Some of you were abusive, or you were in abusive connections. Maybe you were with someone who was aggressive, or you were the aggressor. Some of you, and it's so funny because it says Casanova, some of you were like either Casanova energy or you were with a Casanova energy, someone who was like a cheater, or like I'm hearing like a child of Shango. Like do some research on the Orisha Shango. Shango is what in Caribbean terms or patois we would call a gyalist. Shango is somebody who had multiple partners, and some of you, like for some of you, this was you, like you were like a player, and I feel like a lot of you turned your life around. Like you started to move in a way where it's like, well, you know what, I wouldn't want that done to me. And for some of you, unfortunately, you were with someone who was this way. You were with someone who was a cheater and a liar, and they took you for granted. I feel like a lot of you have healed from these energies. Like you healed from either accepting it, or you healed from being the one that initiated it. For some of you, there were travel plans that were canceled, and now you're taking them. Like maybe you were in a group of people who planned to go somewhere and they were like full of it. They never went. And so now you're going alone, or you're going with your partner or other friends. Interesting. Let me see what card they can give us to close this reading. Oh, okay. The Eight of Swords flew right out. Some of you, and I feel like this is a very small percentage of you, you feel stuck within a job, a relationship, or just any type of situation. The ancestors want you to know that you are not stuck. Okay? It's all in your mind. Your mind is making you feel powerless. A lot of you really need to get rid of the fear and anxiety that is within you. Because little do you know, you hold ancient wisdom and knowledge within you, which means that you are capable of changing not only your life, you are capable of changing the lives of everyone around you. And for some of you, you will. Some of you have surrendered your power to someone else, and your ancestors want you to take it back. I'm hearing take that shit back. Like, take your power back. Get out of the victim mentality. And it's funny, I said that earlier. Some of you have found your way out of it, but some of you are still stuck in it. Some of you are with someone who may be taking care of you financially, or you're at a job that pays you well, but you're not happy. And so you're worried that you might lose money if you left that situation. But the thing is, you have the power and the ability to break free from this, and you will be taken care of. If you leave, you will actually be in a better situation than you're in now. Some of you are feeling helpless, like maybe you did some time in prison and maybe like your record is causing delays for you. Like maybe no one will hire you. You're not meant to work a regular job. Like you're meant to start your own thing, and that's how you're going to take off. Interesting. Like yeah, like some of you are like you're feeling smothered, or you're feeling like you're being watched. Like some of you are on parole or probation, but they want you to start doing your own thing, start your own business. For some of you, you're being blocked because of your own negative beliefs. So they want you to address that. And I feel like positive affirmations are going to help with that, okay? Some of you are not able to see clearly because of the fact that you are still thinking about your past. Like you're allowing your past to control you. But the past is behind you. You've outgrown that. Some of you don't realize that, oh, okay. Okay, I got to download. So some of you have a blindfold on, like you have blindfolds on and you're refusing to take the blindfolds off. It's like you're afraid of what you might see. Like you're comfortable. You're like, I'm comfortable here not being able to see. But it's like when you take the blindfolds off, you'll be in like a room surrounded by gold and resources. It's like that. Like, wow. Like you're going to take the blindfolds off and you're going to be completely amazed at what you see. Like I'm hearing, if only you knew what was in store for you, you'd have no fear. You'd have no anxiety. You'd have no worries. If only you knew the type of power that was within your bloodline, you'd have no fear or worries. You are well taken care of. You come from people who were ancient shamans and healers. This is in your bloodline. You come from people who ruled over acreage, and I mean like acres and acres and acres and acres of land. Like your ancestors owned territories filled with gold and resources underground. Like riches and wealth is literally in your bloodline. It's your inheritance. So when you take those blindfolds that society has tied tightly around your head to cover your eyes, when you take those off, you'll realize that this is your destiny. You'll realize that you are meant to overcome this. You'll realize that prosperity is your birthright. Abundance and wealth is your birthright. But until then, you will remain stuck in this unfortunate cycle. Okay? All right, family, that's all I have for you. If you want a deeper look and more clarity into this reading, you can book a personal session with me down below at the link in the description box. If you need some help with mindset transformation, I am a master certified life coach and I specialize in mindset transformation. Book a consultation with me down below at the link in the description box as well. Follow me on all social media platforms. If this message resonated with you, please don't forget to tap that like button. Drop a comment. Let me know what you thought about this reading. Thank you guys so much for your love and your support. Sending you so much love and healing energy. Until next time, family, peace and oneness.